3.
This is Marylee's Payette with TCU News, and top story today, the lack of parking here on TCU's campus. There's 8,700 parking spaces available, but how many students are there now, and is not TCU increasing the amount of students? There are 920 reserved spaces for $275 each, just for faculty. There's 475 main campus spaces for main campus students only. But what about commuters? What about faculty who do not want to pay $250 each year? What about those people?
What about on-campus students? What are they supposed to do? Let's interview a freshman to see what he has to say.
I'm from Tyler, Texas. I'm a freshman and I live in Moncrief.
On average, how long does it take you to find a parking space?
Probably about 15 minutes a night, and that's usually when everybody's trying to park. So.
And then, have you ever gotten any parking tickets?
Yes, I've had 4.
And were those because you just didn't feel like parking where you're supposed to, or?
2 of them were, and the other 2 were, one was my dad's fault and the other one was their fault because they took down the sign. But, I think we need a parking garage.
They say that the parking garage will cost us close to $12 million. Do you think it's worth it?
I think it's worth it because I was in my communications class last week and they're giving speeches, and one guy did a speech on TCU citations, and he said TCU makes about $3 million annually on parking tickets alone. So
yeah, in an average month they write out more than 1,000.
Really?
So
yeah, they definitely, the money's not a problem, especially at this school. So.
Thanks, Blake. But what about commuters? What are they supposed to do? Here's a commuter student who had a lot to say.
I'm Ashley Ototo. I'm currently a sophomore at TCU, and I commute.
Okay. As a commuter student, what are your views on TCU parking?
Honestly, the TCU parking, I feel like it's horrible. It's so bad to the point where overflow is even full now in the mornings, so it's just kind of a hit or miss. So I've had to park at McDonald's or at a restaurant just in order to get to class.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions about what TCU should do?
It'd be really nice if TCU took maybe the freshman lot or even overflow and made it a parking garage. So that'd be really nice.
Thanks, Ashley. And now for some commentary from Dr. Pamela Stiles.
So, how is parking for you versus students?
TCU parking for faculty is first come, first served basis, but you can purchase a parking permit. And it's not a reserved slot, it's a reserved parking lot. So it's still not guaranteed, but they promise they don't oversell the lot. So I pay
I believe it's $250.
for a parking slot and on a waiting list for 2 years to get it. So not every faculty member has it. In fact, only about half the people in my department have parking spots.
Okay, and has there been any instances where in your class students have been late because every day? Okay.
Every single day.
Does the amount of entering students add to the descent of parking? Do you think?
Absolutely. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never had enough parking. I've been here for 14 years and we've never had enough parking, and they just keep increasing the number of people we have and then taking away parking lots to build buildings. So yes, there's nowhere to park. This is one of the few campuses I have been on that does not have a parking garage. If they are going to have remote parking like they do at Sandage, that's not very safe at night. I think we've had enough crime on this campus to warrant that females or males shouldn't be walking in the dark to their car. TCU doesn't have enough parking. They don't. They never have. They don't do anything about it, and they just keep accepting more students. We're a very inaccessible campus. I attended a public university, and it was far more accessible than this one. get to a point where you have to say, okay, we can't grow anymore until we have resources to handle it. And that would include places for people to sleep, classrooms for people to be taught in, teachers to teach them, and parking. And if you can't afford that, you can't afford to accept more students. And that's a fact.
Thank you, Dr. Stuntz. And now our exclusive interview with Chancellor Victor Boschini.
Because TCU is admitting more students each year, what is being done to provide more parking?
Okay, we're actually not admitting more students. We're actually admitting less percentage-wise than ever before. The difference is more are taking us than ever before. So that's a fine line, but that is different. And so we want 1,600 freshmen every year, and last year we had 1,821. So yes, there are 221 more extra, and that is the case. We've added more parking spaces every year that I've been here. For example, in 1992 we had 5,975 spaces. That's a pretty huge change. Today we have 8,978 next year. This year we were a little compromised, but right now it is true we're 121 spaces less than we were last May. But our goal has been every summer to add spaces. The only summer in the past 9 years we haven't been able to add summer was this past summer because the timing of the admission building, it didn't work out.
And what is your overall opinion with parking? Do you agree that there's enough for students, that it's like convenient for students or inconvenient for students?
Here's what I always say. What I think on parking doesn't matter because every individual person has an opinion on that. And I can't always find a space. I do feel bad for commuter students more than anyone.
I'm going to be a commuter next year. Yeah. That's why this
because
is such
that's harder. Because really, you could say, oh, the spaces aren't where they want them, but they need a space by where they're going to school. So the real solution is a parking garage. And there are several sites on our master plan where they want parking garages. But you can blame me in this report. I'm the reason you don't have parking garages because I'll fight them for a long time because they're not safe for women.
Yeah, that's what they also said.
Yeah, no matter where you build. The nicest parking garages I've ever seen are at Baylor. I call them the garage mahals. Have you ever seen the ones they have there?
Yeah.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
But even there they have issues of safety. And they did a lot of smart things. Like they put a Chili's in one of theirs and they put their police, like a substation of their police department in one too because you get more people in and out all the time. And that helps a lot. But unless you have one officer on every floor 24/7, I can't guarantee your safety. And so until then, I'm going to fight it. But we're going to have to do that. Next question. I'll ask questions for you too. Where are they located? Here's where the master plan identified them. Next to admissions in all that sea of parking, they said go up and build one. And where we're going to expand by the ROTC, they identified there to go up and build one there too. So you have one on both sides of campus.
Okay, that's really neat.
Yeah. There have been rumors going around that we are getting a parking garage, but
not for a while.
Not for a while. There's a lot of other issues with parking garages.
There is not enough parking for the amount of students that we have here at TCU now and how many we are currently going to accept. What is TCU going to do about this? What are you, as a student, faculty, and TCU community, going to do about this? The decision is up to you. Write to Boschini, write to the newspapers, just do something. Take action. Thank you. This is Mary Lise with TCU News, and have a great day.